Never in all my days have I ever seen the most set up, can't miss shots when it comes to a product drop. And yet, and yet, in an impressive style and fashion, it was possibly one of the biggest blunders I've ever seen executed when all you had to do was just listen to the fans. Hey guys, Prime Collections here. Today was going to be a video just breaking down the recent Star Trek drop, how that went, did I participate, did I not? But then Drop decided to go ahead and announce the next line, which was the Star Wars drop, which we've known about for about a month now. And as you could tell from that beginning intro, I am definitely not impressed, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat. So let's not hesitate. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get into this upcoming Funko NFT drop. Before we get into the Star Wars drop and my personal feelings on that and what I think about what they did, I wanted to share with you guys how the Star Trek drop went for me. So first of all, 17,000 packs in this drop were burned, about 45% of them. And what that tells me immediately is that this was not popular. This was one of those things that they had a real opportunity, I think, to go ahead and get things going and do something well with. And I think that when everybody looked at these, they weren't the greatest pieces. And the prices of them reflect in terms of, what you can buy them for in the secondary market. If we go to the Star Trek drop here, which you can see in front of you, we go to the catalog and we look at this. So first of all, packs on the secondary market are being sold for about $1, $2 over what they initially were being sold for. And then you look at the actual collectibles. Grail's going for about 138 bucks. And then you've got the three legendaries. You've got Picard and his share at 32, Wesley Crusher at 18.50, and then Worf at about 22 bucks. To get these on the secondary market, you didn't need to spend money on packs. And I didn't, because there's none of these that I wanted. The only thing I wanted was specifically going to be that royalty. And that's what I got in this. I went after these released and waited for them to kind of drop. And I spent probably about, as you can see here, all the commons are about 5 cents. At the time, that's what it was. So if you go ahead and do the math here, you have 29 commons at about 5 cents a piece. That's $1.45. That's not bad at all. And then you do the uncommons. These were about 5 cents a piece. I mean, you have a couple of irregularities, about 8 or 7 cents, but at the time, I paid about 5 cents for each of these. So if you do that, that's another, I want to say $1.05. So at that point in time, I've paid $2.50 to complete both the common and uncommons. You then go to the rares. This is where you start spending a little bit more money. On average, you're going to pay about 25 cents a rare. So if you do that, you do 15 times 25. Excuse me, real quick. You're looking at about $3.75. So already there, $3.75 plus $2.50, you're at $6.25. So that's what you pay for the rares, the uncommons and the the commons and the uncommons. So this moment I paid $6.25 and I've collected 15, 21, 36. So 65 NFTs. That's pretty solid. Then you go on the epics, and the epics are going to be about $6 to $7 a piece for this set. I'll say $7.50 because you see a couple of anomalies, and I'll even go up to $8 because of like $11.50 there. So if you do $8 times 11, you're looking at about $88 on total. Then if you do that, kind of round out that entire set there, you're looking at about $94.25 to complete the royalty on this. When I did complete it initially, I had at the start of this $85 in digital currency. As you can see now here, I don't know if you can, I have $7.48 in digital currency. So for me, because I did go right away and people were selling it really cheap, I was able to complete this set for about $77 and get that royalty for about $77. And I figure when it releases, because of how cool it was, it's going to be about $150, $165 if you want to look at stuff from a pure value standpoint. And for me, that's what I wanted. I wanted that Freddy as Locatus of Borg. I think that they did a great job. I think that these were awesome, and these were really well done in terms of that royalty specifically. But the legendaries, as I said, if you want them, you can pick them up on the secondary market for pretty cheap, and it's definitely readily available. And this set did not do well because I think there is some Star Trek fandom, but not enough to facilitate the amount of packs that they produced. And now on to the meat of the matter The reason that, you know, this video has been separated, I guess you could say, into two parts. And that is we're on the Star Wars drop. This is slated to release this upcoming Tuesday, or a week from this Tuesday, which will be a week from tomorrow. And it's going to be on the 26th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And with that, they decided that the amount of packs they were going to release was going to be about 65,000. We've got 35,000 standard and 30,000 premium, which I figured we were going to be looking at like 100,000 packs. So the fact that they kind of lowered that amount for this is smart, but then seeing what the pieces were, I now understand why we didn't get 50,000, 55,000. And had they been 4-inch pieces, each one of them, we would have seen those pack counts, I'm fairly certain. And for this, they decided that the best possible course of action for them, specifically, was to release this set as all deluxe pieces. Every single piece in this is a 6-inch variant of some kind, may even be larger. And there are a total of 4 legendaries, 1 grail, 1 royalty. First of all, you have your grail. Most grails are about 999 pieces, but because this is a Star Wars variation, that is the first of it, they decided to do 1980 total pieces for this grail, because I think that was the year that the movie that they're, you know, talking about was released. And as you can see, it is Luke hanging in the ice den. The one nice touch I can say about this, or, you know, in terms of what they did with this, is if you look at his face, you can see there's like some bruising, some scuffing, a little bit of added detail that they didn't necessarily need to do. And I think that this will probably be one of the more sought after pieces from this drop, but I still don't necessarily think that there's going to be enough hype around this to consider this actually having a sellout, because there is 65,000 total packs. Next up, you've got C-3PO sitting in a chair. Looks like he's kind of falling asleep. I don't know necessarily too much about it, but, you know, they've already done C-3PO, and I don't know necessarily why they're doing it. I guess because, you know, it's the first NFT drop, so we're going to go with a lot of the main characters here. You then have Darth Vader standing in what appears to be, I guess you could call it, the throne room. He's basically sitting there in a pose that basically indicates he is using his force powers. And each of these legendaries are going to be 3,000 pieces. Pretty high count for legendaries in general, but with 65,000 packs, it makes sense that these would be a little bit higher. Next up, you've got Emperor Palpatine using his lightning, another 3,000 piece, and once again, it's a character that's been reused. And these legit look like the deluxe pieces we had for these villain characters, or at least not too long ago that you could see a lot at like local retailers, GameStops, that kind of stuff. The final legendary piece is going to be Han in Kryptonite with his head kind of hanging out right before he's fully, I think, emerged. This is an interesting choice. Probably the least detailed out of all of these, and probably one of the ones that will have the lowest value on the secondary aftermarket. And then finally, in this, you've got Princess Leia on the movie poster there. It's a glow-in-the-dark piece. It's going to have 3,300 total available. In order to get this, you have to get the commons, uncommons, rares, and epics to complete the royalty. For me, as you can tell, when I usually talk about drops, I go into a lot more detail. And with this specifically, I just was massively disappointed. You had done characters that people already had. They're all deluxe pieces, which tells me that 1, they're going to be huge. 2, they're going to get damaged in shipping. If you've ever gotten a deluxe piece, there's always been a chance it's going to be damaged in shipping. I would say probably at least 75% of the ones that I have ordered in the mail have come damaged. It's been very rare that they haven't. And the thing is with this, you're going to have people paying a couple $100 to have these pops, and then what's going to end up happening is they're going to go ahead and they're going to arrive damaged, and you're going to have a lot of very upset people. With that also being said, because they are deluxe pops, a lot of people are going to want to participate in this drop. This drop will not sell out. Mark my words. I said the Transformers one would sell out. It sold out. With this one, I'm telling you, it will not sell out. I would wait until this drop is over, because I guarantee you on the secondary market, you'll be able to get a lot of these for about 40 to 50 bucks. And generally, that's not bad when it comes to NFT pops, because that's about an average is what you see depending on the fandom. The only one I think that will fetch a high price will be the Grail, and that's because the fact of it's a Grail, and you'll have people who are crazy for that, and In general, probably be sold for about 200, 300 bucks. But for me, if I was going to go for these, I wouldn't participate in that drop. I would just save my money, wait till these appear on the secondary market, watch people undercut the crap out of each other, and then pick these up for not that high a price. I'm very certain that come first day, before the market stabilizes on these, you'll be able to pick up some of these for 25, 20 bucks. And why would you buy packs when you're going to go ahead and pick these up for that kind of price? There's no point. I think that they dropped the ball on this. They didn't have a Freddy for the royalty. You had all characters that they've already done, and it just feels like there was no effort put in. For me, I was ready to spend a couple $100 on this if this was done well. But from what I see here, these look lazy. These look like we had these molds ready to go. We didn't sell them, so we're just going to copy and paste them onto a new background and just resell them. And it's very disappointing to see this. This was one of the most hype things that people were wanting, and you do this. Now, all I can say is just for shame. You had a golden opportunity, and you squandered it. And unfortunately, the numbers will reflect that when this drop is done. I will not be surprised when they burn, I'm going to say 30,000 packs. I think half the packs will be burned. About 30K, a little bit under actually. And if that's the case, it just tells you what people want. So for me, this is going to be a pass. I also passed up on the Star Trek drop. These just weren't super sought after, and I probably won't pick up any of these on the secondary market because they're just not that cool, and they're not what I collect. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to go for this, and if so, which ones you're happy to pull or you want to pull, because I would at least like to hear about that if there are some people who are excited for these. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Kind of want to talk about that Star Trek drop and what happened with that specifically, kind of my feelings on it. And I definitely think it was a lot better than the Star Wars one, which is upcoming about a week from tomorrow. So if you are participating in that, good luck to you. I think you'll have a pretty easy time getting packs, and hopefully you get the ones that you want to pull. Me personally, I will see what drop has next on the horizon, and if any of those are going to be desirable, I will obviously share those pack openings on this channel with you guys. Once again, thank you so much for sticking around through the entirety of the video. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys later.